Let's shift gears a little bit, man. We've got to talk here. We've got to talk about the ye old Hulk. Ye old Hulk, man. This is wild. Okay, this is absolutely wild. So yesterday, while we were on stream, it was towards the end of the stream, absolutely earth-shattering news comes out from Nexus Point News, all right? And the news was that Bruce Banner was going to be a big part of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, in that article, they don't mention Hulk. They were like, oh, we don't know if he's going to be Hulk. I think they knew, but they just weren't allowed to say. They mention that it's not a cameo. And then they mentioned that this will be the next appearance and the 10th appearance for Bruce Banner. But then that'll be followed up by Doomsday and Secret Wars. Okay? So let's lay all this out there for you. That goes down. I was sort of scrambling when we were on stream talking about it. I was like, damn, like, dude, this is wild, but I just don't know. I will say, as I said on stream yesterday, John Roca, one of the first people to actually scoop this up. Apparently, though, Gary from Nerd Erotic also scooped this up a while ago. From what I understand, and just being completely transparent, I don't really watch a lot of Gary's stuff, but apparently on his streams, maybe his nooner streams or one of these streams, apparently he just randomly drop really crazy scoops. Now, I've talked about one thing that Gary said about the Fantastic Four movie and RDJ's Doctor Doom. So I've talked about that, and I think he's right on that, although I'm not 100%. But, dude, I damn sure think he's right on this one. Apparently, he was talking about exactly this. Savage Hulk and Punisher. Now, the Punisher bit, that's another element. That wasn't in the Nexus Point News scoop yesterday. It's crazy. So, here's what I'll tell you, okay? So, as this is going down yesterday, I had somebody reach out, and maybe you remember on stream, somebody reached out and said that Hulk was the villain. And I was like, whoa, what? Hulk's the villain? And I was like, oh, no, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Well, a little bit later on, I tweeted about it, and then I had another person, very reliable, reach out to me and be like, Hulk's the villain, okay? Now, I heard some other stuff. This is crazy. So remember the images and the scoops, or I guess the rumors that came out last week because there was some kind of expo, some kind of consumer expo thingy. Like, here, I'll pull this up here. Disney thingy. And then it says right here, Boomerang, Scorpion, Tombstone, Nuff said. And I remember we went over that. It was the same place where you got this from first look here at Spider-Man. And they did have a sizzler reel for Doomsday there too. Well, I come to find out that during that presentation, there were people that were mentioning the Savage Hulk. Apparently, the Savage Hulk was mentioned at this Spider-Man thing. So, look, here's the reality. Roca had this a couple of months ago. Gary seems to have had this 4 to 6 months ago. And it was also announced at an official Disney event, although in a foreign marketplace, an official Disney event just last week. So what does that mean? Well, guys, that means that this has been real for a while, okay? Like, this is not something that they just cooked up within the last couple of weeks, right? So, clearly, a lot of the scoopers we listen to are still on some old information, okay? And how do we know that? Well, because when Roca said the Hulk thing, almost all of these big scoopers, and I'm talking about Alex Perez, Cryptic HD, Daniel RPK, My Time to Shine, hello, almost all of those people clowned on Roca and said it wasn't real. But it was. And Roca had it before everybody. Except maybe Gary, right? I don't know the exact timetable. Again, I don't watch Gary's stuff. No disrespect. I just don't watch stuff. So, interesting, huh? Marvel has been quietly building a Hulk versus Spider-Man and Punisher movie in the middle of all of this other craziness. Now, I want to say something. I didn't say this in the video yesterday or on stream yesterday, but I thought a lot about this, and I think this is a fair take. To me, this is a great indicator that Marvel is indeed going for fan service and spectacle. Now, I think it's a safe bet to say that Brand New Day will not actually be in a new universe at this point. It might lead to something that does a new universe. There could be incursion stuff going on there. It could lead into Doomsday in that sense. But I don't think this is a Battleworld movie anymore. I don't think this is an alternate reality. You know, I don't think it's anything crazy like that. I think it's 616 and there's shenanigans. Now, you might say, okay, well, that means we're not doing multiversal. It's going to be more street level and grounded like Kevin and Marvel wanted. And that could be the case. But all of a sudden, the Savage Hulk is the main villain. And remember, Tombstone, Boomerang, Scorpion, and I also heard Tarantula, who's such a weird, obscure villain, who apparently did get a revitalization within the past couple of years and got like a new little miniseries or something. That's kind of weird. But so you're going to have other villains. And then we've heard there's a female villain with a katana, has Asian-inspired stuff, could be Silver Sable, right? We've heard even the possibility of Mr. Negative as well. So what it seems like is you're going to have a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man's fighting against a bunch of little, smaller Spider-Man villains. Bruce Banner is somewhat involved. Punisher is somewhat involved. And then Hulk is the main bad guy of the movie, meaning the big action set pieces and all the craziness, that's going to involve Hulk and likely Punisher, okay? Now, what's interesting about that is Alex Perez said on his Discord yesterday that he has recently heard that there's this sequence they're shooting for Brand New Day that is apparently the most ambitious sequence they've ever filmed. It's going to be filmed practical. It's going to take over a month to shoot. It's in a highly populated area. It's going to be very involved. So this sequence is apparently like the crown jewel of this film. So think about it from a producing perspective, not a story perspective, but a producing perspective. I've been saying for a while, they need to swing for the fences. They need to go for spectacle and event filmmaking. Well, now all of a sudden we have the return of the Savage Hulk, which to me is even more exciting than seeing Red Hulk. I mean, I was super excited to see Red Hulk, but the Hulk's the Hulk. And man, we have not been happy with this cardigan wearing, less than badass Hulk since Endgame, basically, right? Like a lot of us are like, bro, okay, Professor Hulk was kind of funny for a bit, but it's been like 6+ years. What the fuck? Please, for the love of God, get the Savage Hulk back, okay? So now you're going to do something that fans have been wanting forever in the next Spider-Man movie. On top of that, Punisher, bro. Punisher's been lighting the world on fire right now. I think people absolutely love Bernthal. I think that he taps into potentially a side of the fandom that has been a little scorned with, some of the left-leaning, identity politics stuff that Marvel has been doing, frankly. Like, not just the Frank Castle character, but the way Bernthal has ownership of that character and the way he talks about first responders, police officers, military. Like, some of you roll your eyes at this point that I'm making here, but it's real. It exists. It's an actual factor with the social media imprint for these films. Putting Punisher into that, getting the Savage Hulk back, like, doesn't this sort of read like the fanboys are getting exactly what they wanted? Doesn't this feel a little bit like Marvel injecting a little more testosterone back into Marvel in a Spider-Man movie? Bold choice, really bold, really interesting. And the movie seems big. It seems very ambitious and kind of wild with like Sadie Sink potentially playing May Parker from the multiverse. Like, there's a lot of wild stuff that could be happening here. But overall, if you just remove some of that noise and understand that the main selling point of this film is going to be Spider-Man versus the Hulk, potentially Spider-Man in the Venom symbiote, which I find fascinating. Venom, Spider-Man, and Punisher teaming up to fight against the Hulk, like, brother, that's some fanboy dreaming. That's like me as a kid smashing all the toys together and my imagination running wild. So the selling point of this film is likely going to be Hulk. They've already mentioned it at the Marvel product thing, whatever that was, in the foreign marketplace, right? I would imagine they're going to put it on Front Street. And they're going to sell the movie as Hulk versus Spider-Man, Punisher, and Spider-Man having beef. Peter dealing with being regular Punisher or being regular Spider-Man, but then things get dark and crazy. So maybe then he has to bond with the symbiote or something. I don't know. Like, that's, and also remember, they're going to sell you on the spectacle of that big event, that big sequence. Like, you don't plan a sequence like this if you're not going to like use it as advertiser or pull. They're going to talk about it. A lot of rumors will come out about it. They might even do like a special feature ad of how they're going to film it. And I promise you that'll be a part of the selling point. We'll talk about that. A lot of people talk about that, and hopefully it'll get butts into the seats. So this is a really cool way for Marvel to have spectacle and do fun without going multiverse. And I really do think Spider-Man is going to be huge now. This feels like a legit production, producing business decision, and also really interesting from a creative perspective, okay? Now, the other reason I love this, man, and I really do, is it sets up the possibility of Hulk being savage once again in Doomsday or in Secret Wars. Now, we've heard that the Hulks are a big part of these films, and there's some footage of Hulk, or rather, not footage, concept art of Hulk with She-Hulk and with Scar, and he does look a little more Professor Hulky, but he's also bigger, if you notice. He's not as, like, weak looking as the Professor Hulk we currently have now. And so maybe you'll get a slightly more hulked out version of Professor Hulk that is actually Hulk and not Banner. And maybe that Hulk has the ability to even rage out from there and go Rage Monster Hulk. I'm not quite sure. It is also possible that they've adjusted the plans for Hulk in Secret Wars and Avengers just over time too, and that the concept art doesn't necessarily mean all that. But we know that the first day of filmmaking on the set of Doomsday involved the Hulks. We've heard that the Hulks are there fighting against the X-Men. This includes Red Hulk. We've heard the Hulks are going to be a really big part of whatever they're doing in Secret Wars. And there's potential of even a World War Hulk movie or Maestro Hulk being an evil version of Hulk that rules Battleworld or a section of Battleworld. So there's like some big stuff they're cooking with Hulk. Now, I love all this, man. I think Hulk and I think Mark Ruffalo are a super underutilized aspect of the entire MCU. Like, he's a great actor, has a great hold on the character. But also, like, dude, Hulk smash, right? Like, Hulk does not wear cardigan and fucking talk, like, nonsense. Like, Hulk smash. So I think there's a big opportunity to, like, let Hulk smash. Now, I got to say, you know, I think Marvel Rivals, and this is maybe a wild turn, where some of you guys will be like, what the fuck? But let's just hear me out on this. I think Marvel Rivals has done an incredible job of showing Marvel Studios that the popularity of, like, just the Marvel characters and the stuff they have access to is, like, enough. Like, you don't have to subvert expectations, reinvent the wheel. You don't have to do any of that. People love Hulk in Marvel Rivals just because he's Hulk and he smashes. And he's fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't reinvent Hulk. They don't try to make him this, that, second, and third. Like, nah, he's just Hulk and it's awesome. You know, Iron Man's just Iron Man and he's awesome. Spider-Man is just Spider-Man and he's awesome. Captain America is just Captain America and he's awesome. The X-Men are just the X-Men and they're awesome. I'm hoping that we're going to see a return to more traditional sensibilities with the Marvel characters, where Marvel Studios is just going to lean on what people like about these characters and then just dial it up. Because, like, look, we love Spider-Man. We love the web swinging. We love the action. We love the character. You know, we love the struggle that he has. But really, like, Spider-Man is dope because he's Spider-Man. He can flip around, climb on walls, web swing. And then, of course, you add the Venom symbiote into that. It's like a whole new world of badassery. We love that. Destin Daniel Cretton is an incredible action director. You look at Shang-Chi, holy shit, dude. Like, what he was able to accomplish in that is brilliant. And it's just, the choreography is so great. The cinematography is great. With all the ninjas and the wire work and all that, it was absolutely incredible. We love Hulk smashing and doing badass Hulk action, which we have not had enough of. We got like a little taste of it in Brave New World. 5 minutes of Red Hulk action. It's not enough. We need much more, okay? We love Punisher. But frankly, Punisher didn't do enough. In his, Daredevil Season 1 stuff, he wasn't beating enough ass, doing enough violence. It was awesome. He's one of the best parts of that entire show, but it's like not enough. On top of that, so let me just finish this point. So you think about that. We love Punisher doing Punisher stuff. We like Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff. And we like Hulk doing Hulk stuff. So why not just do that, add it all together, and dial it up to 11? So imagine like a multi-million-dollar action sequence where you have Hulk just fucking destroying shit, and you've got Punisher and Spider-Man using their full arsenal and abilities to try to like save people, but also hold the Hulk at bay. And there's not a better character to let Frank go all out on than Hulk. I wouldn't even mind it if like they got a suit for him, like because Punisher, of course, does get the War Machine suit at one point in Marvel Comics and becomes like the War Punisher, and it's like super badass. It's just kind of like a fun little thing. But remember, Peter understands Stark tech. Peter built all the Sinister Six villains, new tech, and he could build an entire suit for Frank Castle. So like, dude, I'm not saying, like, maybe I shouldn't even bring this up because it's a little bit too much, like, fanboy dreaming. And we're like, bro, like, if we don't get this now, I'm going to be pissed. But just consider Punisher in a War Machine suit and Peter Parker in the symbiote suit fighting against a absolute savage, raged out Hulk that's destroying New York City or something. Like, oh my God. That feels right. And I feel like that's the right way to sell this kind of stuff these days. Like, I don't think you have to reinvent the wheel, get all tricky with the character and whatever you're trying to symbolize or, you know, the themes you're trying. Like, nah, dude, like, just do the fun comic book stuff and do it dialed the F up. So I think this is real, and I think this is huge for the movie. Like, truly, I think this is a brilliant move. Now, I don't think it's Maestro. I had originally said, wow, I wonder if this is Maestro Hulk, and there are a lot of rumors of Maestro Hulk coming in. Maybe he's involved somewhat, or maybe he's set up via this movie. I'm not really sure. I think it's more likely that Maestro's involved in either just straight Secret Wars or in the Doomsday film. And maybe what you'll see is Doom go into the timeline and rip out Banner from a certain timeline and just like kind of create him into the Maestro Hulk. Maybe that's what it is. But either way, this is exciting, dude. I think right now there's fatigue for the rumors for Spider-Man 4. And I totally understand that. And there's probably a lot of people that are like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. But this is just absolutely real. The actual news cycle will eventually catch up with this. Again, Marvel is talking about this at official events, right? So we're going to find out soon. And I actually I'm really looking forward to this. I think the lead up to it, the rumors, the press tour, the fun that could be had here with Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man, I think this is all top-notch stuff. And it just shows, too, that, like, despite how fatigued I am on Marvel and despite how frustrated I am with some of their decision-making, it still gets me excited when you put some badass characters together and do some cool stuff with them. And that's good. That just shows that there's still juice within the Marvel brand. We'll see how the normies or the public sort of respond to this when it becomes official. I've already seen some people being, you know, frustrated or whatever. And then there's folks that, of course, just want Peter to be street level and, you know, just not being able to afford rent. And, you know, like, we don't want Punisher or Hulk in our Spider-Man. And I totally understand that. But for me, dude, I can't help it. I think it's really cool. I am quite excited. Thanks for watching. And if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.